Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
As always, I am Big Will.
I am JDubbs.
And we are the Bears Bro
Podcast.
So on this episode, once again, we are going to touch base on the current status of the compensatory pick battle that the Bears are in with the NFL. Plus, also, there's been a little bit of update with the, you could say, the NFL. As far as pricing, we got that going on, and the stadium issues and so on and so forth. So,
what are you doing over there?
I'm making sure that we are good to go. Of course, my phone. Hey, I can hear me because we have figured out the technical stuff of being able to see our comments. All right. So again, we're going to talk about the topics. And we can't only talk about the Bears. We got to talk about pro sports with live games and events, pricing out their loyal fans. So we decided, he decided to do his tailgating. I don't understand what you're doing.
You said we were going to tailgate,
but
I got like snacks and shit. You said we were going to tailgate.
We got our sauces from our buddies over at Chicago. Proper names, so I don't fumble it like the Manung guy. It took us forever.
I'm going to assume that when you said we were going to talk about tailgate, we were not going to actually tailgate because I got like a cooler full of beer.
I mean, I wish because I am a little hungry, so. But as always, I've got my Monster of the Midway juice.
We can't show the logo.
We don't know all the rules of all that stuff.
But I don't live by the rules. So anyways, yeah. So,
you're killing me.
So as Will was saying about,
going to get us canceled before.
Really, come on, John Morant, gun. Yeah. Let's just stay with Ben. Oh, just before we get started, so what Will was trying to say, we sponsored this incredible company out of Chicago. It's Chicago. Their sauces are awesome. Not only is this keto friendly, it's a relic.
I had to test it,
but he loves it. It's a great dip. It's called Big Fork Brands. We're gonna put in the link. I know, right? Yeah. No, I don't know where your hands have been. It's called Big Fork Brands. It's great. They have a wide variety of stuff, including little sausages, meat sticks. They have a whole mess of sauces for burgers, dogs, sausage.
You seem to really like talking about meat sticks.
I do. I like putting meat in my mouth. And it's not only it's keto.
You're really going to get us canceled.
We got to push the envelope, right? Not all of us are Kirk Cousins who just signed a.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, there will
let's
be
off with that
link in this for Big Fork Brands and if you use our promo code
BBros20 with a Z,
we worked. He got that. Not only will you get 20% off, we will make a small commission. Yes. So look for that. So let's talk about this ridiculous.
Oh my goodness!
Again,
you mean him signing a 5-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders, who have the number 1 overall picks, picking their quarterback of the future and stuff like that? And for $172 million.
Now, that's a lot of zeros. Now, I have a question. He also signed a huge deal with the Atlanta Falcons that was guaranteed.
Yes. So, if what I heard on ESPN this on the way here was accurate, that you're not going to sauce it. How dare you? But I think part of the contract is owed by the Falcons, and the Raiders are going to be paying 170 of it. It's all confusing. It's a 5-year deal, but it could only be for 2 years because of the language in it. The part that I don't get. I know it's not Bears related, but I'm going to go there. Everybody clowned the Atlanta Falcons last year for signing Cousins to, what was it, $140 million contract?
I thought it was 180, but
whatever.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
And then with their their number 1 draft pick, you select Michael Penix. And then the Raiders say, we're going to one-up that. Not only are we going to give him $175 million, but we had the number 1 overall pick. We're telling everybody that we're going to draft Fernando Mendoza, and now Fernando Mendoza gets to sit. Here's my 2 questions of it. One, should this creep the thought into the Raiders' mind of we need to better our future? So why don't we do what the Chicago Bears did and trade the number 1 overall pick to a QB needy team for a boatload of picks? Especially if you're going to keep Max Crosby, because that's another. Sorry, I have 3 questions.
Oh, I'll answer your first one. That is, when you had messaged me that Kirk Cousins got signed, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then, of course, you told me what the language was, and I'm like, holy shit, right? So maybe, just maybe, because if you your number 1 overall pick is going to get a bag, as he likes to say. I don't know where that came from. I wasn't in
my buddy Quest from my Pins and Wins podcast. Okay. He's always talked about people getting the bag. Yep.
Quest, can you use terminology that he can understand, because he has no idea. But anyway,
he doesn't have enough melanin to understand it.
I'm just saying. So the number 1 overall pick is going to get a boatload of money come year 4 to year 5, right?
If they're good enough.
If they pan out.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I think maybe the Raiders are saying, well, maybe not this year, but maybe 2 draft classes from now, we could get a quarterback, and we get what I don't. Kirk Cousins, I'm sorry, retire.
Well, you got to give the guy a lot of credit. He just passed Tom Brady for most overall contract in the history of the NFL.
No, you need to reward his agent. What is the sales pitch? Seriously.
What is he giving him for Christmas? I mean, what? He goes to work for Tom Brady, because let's face it, he may not be the primary owner, but he's more the face of the Raiders organization than Mark Davis is.
I just want to add a part B to this question. Now, Sam Darnold was a journeyman, right? He showed flashes, and he did good in Minnesota, and then he just went and won a Super Bowl. So maybe Atlanta wasn't the fit for Kirk Cousins. So maybe
it wasn't. Maybe I think he went there because his wife's family from the area, but there was no way I take that back. It made sense until they drafted Michael Penix, because that helped us because we got Rome the next pick, but it hasn't helped them at all. And then you have an expensive backup sitting on your sidelines. Like us, we gave Tyson Bagent $10 million. That's a backup. That's backup money. You're not paying. So you have 2 franchises paying over $170 million for a backup. Makes no sense. And so, like I said, it asks the question of, if you really want to improve your team. That brings, on the Raiders side of it, question number 2. You added all these players and you had enough cap space, and you got Max Crosby back, and it wasn't a cap issue. Is it going to be a cap issue now to where you have to trade Max Crosby again? Because how are you going to afford what you're giving Kirk Cousins to hold a clipboard, or to get the shit kicked out of him under a new offense, to teach a kid that's pretty much Kirk Cousins light from what they talk about him?
So, I mean, I have no idea, but guess what? You got Brock Bowers there. You got your boy Ashton Michael Giannetti, Marty Jannetty, the Rockers, throwing a little 80s there. If you don't know who Marty Jannetty is,
Google it.
Goddamn, should be in the Hall of Fame. Anyways, I'm just saying.
Come
on, he carried Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, maybe his luggage.
No, I'm just saying. So you got Jannetty, you got Max Crosby. Now you're going to get if you don't do anything with the overall pick, you're going to pick somebody who's going to get money. Tom Brady, you're going to have to just dole out. I mean, Giselle's going to have to give you more money.
Honestly, I thought he was going to come out of retirement for them. After the whole flag football thing, I really thought Tom Brady was going to figure out a way to. So, all right.
I don't know. I guess that's why we sit here in this homemade studio of our house, and we don't have an agent that will get us. You can imagine if we had an agent that got us, I don't know, like what, 3 years? Let's say 125,000 a piece.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying,
and just to watch somebody else do the show.
Dude, that is probably one of the best ideas you've ever friggin' had.
What, 125?
No, to have somebody else do the show and we get paid for it.
Okay. They might like us, but hopefully they like us well enough. But and now you made me forget what question number 3 was as to
Max Crosby. Are they going to be able to do with Max Crosby?
And then, but 5 years. And yes, sorry. Question number 3. What if Kirk Cousins does well? And then you wasted a number 1 overall pick on Fernando Mendoza, and it's similar to the Green Bay where, and in both situations where you didn't had Aaron Rodgers, he sat because Brett Favre was there. Then you had Jordan Love. The only difference is those guys were first-round picks, not number 1 overall.
Well, okay, so other than Peyton Manning, okay, every first overall quarterback goes in. Justin Fields. I mean, shitty ass. We all know if he had
Justin Fields was the number 1 overall.
No, but he was. Yeah. I'm just saying. So the number 1 overall pick, I would say, sit him. This day and age.
I mean, it makes sense for him to sit and learn from a guy that's pretty much an experienced version of him.
But if Kirk Cousins does well, I mean, I just look at Sam Darnold. Look at Sam Darnold. If Kirk Cousins does well, okay, so now you're learning. When Justin Fields was on the Bears, Andy Dalton. No offense, Andy Dalton. I'm just saying.
And also, Andy Dalton just showed up to that offense. At least Kirk Cousins has history with Clint Kubiak in his Minnesota days, so he's familiar with what he's going to run.
So my thing is, I can't believe that his agent once again got him a humongous contract, but whatever. I'm just saying, let's say they take Fernando Venezuela. I don't know if that's really his. I practiced that one, right? Okay. I'm just saying, let's say they take Fernando Mendoza.
Baseball season being here.
I had to say Mendoza for the Yankees. Okay. I'm going all off today on you. But let's say he learns behind Kirk Cousins. And let's say Kirk Cousins does really good. Look at what Caleb Williams is doing with Case Keenum.
Yes. Case Keenum is sitting on the holding a clipboard. He's not even the backup.
Yep.
Because you've got a good day. I'm not angry at it, or as far as if I was a Raiders fan, I'm not going to be upset you went and got Kirk Cousins. The part that makes no sense is you have the number 1 overall pick and you make this decision. Trade the pick, get more draft picks or a player, and make your team better. Like we did when we traded with the Panthers. They got Bryce Young. We got all the picks and led to the future of our organization.
So my question to you is, just real quick, let's say you're the GM of the Raiders, okay? You own the Raiders, right? Kirk Cousins sucked last year because he cost me a championship because he did not throw it. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Now, would you go all in on a college quarterback this day and age? I mean, let me just run down Bryce Young. Who was the guy from Titans last year?
Oh, Cam Ward.
But
they were expected to be correct.
I'm just saying though, are you willing to take this day and age a quarterback first overall with the history of what is happening to the previous quarterbacks taken first overall or within the top 3 or 5?
I mean, you're not wrong because, Caleb's starting to show it even though he got the shit kicked out of him. If he still had Matt Eberflus last season, Baker's on his, 5th team or something?
Yep.
So, so you understand how it is with that. Trevor Lawrence is really the only guy that's still in the same place, and there's still questions about him because Mahomes, 10th pick. Josh Allen, I believe, was number 11.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was in the 20s. There's not a bona fide superstar in the league right now that is the number 1 overall pick to where you say that's a clear cut. It hasn't been since Peyton that it's happened.
I just like to bring up 2 names real quick before we go on, whatever. If I don't say it now, I'm going to forget. Tom Brady was Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy was.
No, Tom Brady was 6th round.
Okay, 6th round.
Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant.
And
Russell Wilson, 3rd round.
Russell Wilson, 3rd round. I mean, of course, he sucks now, but whatever. I'm just saying there are gems out there.
Kirk Cousins was a 4th rounder.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, it looks like the Raiders are saying maybe we're not sold on a quarterback right now. Maybe, but let's get somebody in here because who's better, Kirk Cousins or Geno Smith?
But here's also another option.
Yes, I get that, but
here's another option. Do you trade down like we did and in the later rounds go for Ty Simpson? Because I've heard great things about him. And if you're going to have somebody learn from Kirk Cousins, why does it have to be the number 1 overall pick? To me, it questions because of the length of the contract and the amount of money.
Yep.
Are the Raiders completely sold on Mendoza? Everybody else automatically thinks that's who they're going to.
So that's my question. So let's say the Raiders go out and get a Tyson Bagent, right? So and they give up the 1st round pick for a boatload like Ryan Poe's ass raped the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And look who we got. We got Caleb the year later. We got Rome. We've got Luther Burden the 3rd because of it. And now we got a 2nd round pick next year because of that trade.
So here's a funny way of thinking of this. What if they're holding out for the Manning kid from Texas?
If he's as good,
I'm just saying.
If he's as good as he, or the kid that went back, Moore from Oregon.
Yep. Yeah.
Because he was going to be the number 2, Dante Moore. Yep. But even so, you can take, like I said, you can take Ty Simpson, you can take Garrett Nussmeier or Carson Beck or any other of that is. There's questions about him, but if you're going to sign a Kirk Cousins for 5 years for that much money, maybe you need to wait.
And let's not forget the guy that's calling some of the shots, Tom Brady. So I'm just saying. I didn't really put a lot of thought into it when you text me this morning. I'm like, but now that I think about it, maybe they are just going to stick with Kirk Cousins and try to get a boatload of picks because maybe they don't like what they see right now.
And if he succeeds with having Bowers hand off to Genty, who could end up being like for him, which he could have had in Atlanta with Bijan. I'm not interested. Genty did not show Bijan potential, but could be. And then you get picks and picks. And then I still think they should trade Max Crosby because, how do you unring the bell after making that trade and expect him to come back and say, you guys are fully invested in us, like I'm fully invested in you. Well, all right. Now that we got that out of our systems, how you like that?
Yeah, you like that?
That's how it went.
I know. That's why I'm here.
All right.
That's why they get paid.
I would like to show some major props to Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, and George McCaskey. They flew to New York, and they're continuing to battle for these compensatory picks we should be getting. Again, my opinion about the Rudy Rule, but it exists. They added the incentives of the compensatory picks, and you pull a bullshit move of saying that we don't qualify for it. That's dog shit.
Yep.
And we deserve those picks. Those picks can help with our future, whether it be trade bait, whether it be adding other players that it can give us the flexibility of going for somebody in the 1st round on the offensive side, a defensive lineman. You can get the safety from either Toledo or not the Ohio State. Who's the other? Cinnamon.
Oh, the cinnamon guy. Because
Yeah.
you sent me 400 prospects, and yeah,
Dude, once I'm locked in on the draft, I start paying attention to people. But having those extra picks, we should have. So, do you think that it's just a lost cause, or do you think the NFL is going to do the right thing and make it happen?
So I was thinking about this. Was it last show or the 2 shows ago that we had talked about the whole Rooney Rule?
It was last show.
Okay, so I just want to give an opinion. I think that
kind of why we're here.
I think that a bigger question is people are making a bigger argument over the picks as opposed to then why'd you even bring this guy in the first place?
Well, he deserved the job.
No, exactly. He deserved the job. So he deserved the job. It's a rule. I don't understand how or why. My question is, I'm sorry. My question is, the Atlanta Falcons were able to say, I'm just sorry. We all know why the rule is in place. Opinions. I'm just saying, though, somehow the Atlanta Falcons.
Let's make it clear. Hold on for a second to feed off of the previous conversation. Let's keep it real. They talk about minorities, but there's a lot of people that feel that it is to give African American coaches and front or office personnel a chance to advance in their career. Let's just keep that real.
Mm-hmm.
Because Robert Saleh, minority. Dave Canales, minority. But when Mike Tomlin leaves, they point out, oh, well, there's only this number of African American coaches. But yet, Dave Canales is a minority. Mike McDaniels was a head coach, minority. But the rule is in place. It is that if they get a promotion and somebody that is an assistant general manager becomes general manager, that's a promotion. Yeah. Let's break it down.
So that was my question. I kind of worded it wrong. So how did the Atlanta Falcons sidestep? I'm just saying, in this day and age, this is my question. Why would you want to be that team that just said, no? I just, like, if it was me, I would be so embarrassed to say, to find a way not to give those picks, and because you knew going in, getting Ian Cunningham, you knew what you had to give up, or that. What
here's the question: is it the team that made the hiring are the ones that give up the picks, or the NFL just awards them? Because they have a list. Like if Dallas losing Michael Parsons caused this much of a change to deals, they get a compensatory pick. Maybe some of our viewers or people that see any of our shorts can comment what causes the awarding of a compensatory pick.
I think the NFL just gives it.
But yet they add that when it comes to a minority hiring. Like, did San Francisco get compensatory picks because Robert Saleh got hired as a head coach? But if you're saying that he's not the full head coach and he's not making the decisions on the field, sorry, San Francisco, you don't get it.
But that's just like,
just look at I know it's not a realistic scenario, but it's the way that you're presenting it. Because Matt Ryan, who basically he's just becoming the face of the organization because of his history, but yet he becomes head of player personnel, but yet Ian Cunningham is the one that makes all of the deals and stuff, decides things for the team. But nope, sorry. You call the shots, but because you're not at face value.
Okay. Just real quick. The NFL awards the compensatory picks. Okay. But these extra draft picks are awarded to teams at the end of rounds 3 through 7. So like I said, so that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. So I wanted
it would have been 3rd round pick.
But my point is,
at least
you're the Atlanta Falcons, and you're saying no. You're trying to put a stop to it. I'm just saying, this day and age, trying to be politically correct, I would have just shut my mouth and said, "Hey, that's the rule." You knew this going in, trying to get Ian Cunningham. You knew what was going to happen, and you're just using the language as you say.
But again, I don't know if you could blame Atlanta, because the NFL are the ones that are giving it out. Atlanta's gone on record saying that they should get the picks. The Bears obviously are fighting for it, and the NFL said, "No, I'm sorry. They're the parent. You have 2 kids, both of them are right, but yet we're not going to award the one team." It's nonsense.
I just can't believe that the NFL,
we're fighting.
That the NFL, I thought it was the Atlanta Falcons that said no, because I thought Matt Ryan had said, "No, I'm this," but Ian Cunningham is that. That's what I thought.
And even Matt Ryan in the interviewers in the press conference said that he's giving input, but he's not the one that calls the shots. So
this is why we sit here. I'm just saying, do you need more pretzels, sir?
I do.
Do you need more of our, we're promoting?
No, I've got this is really good.
I know it.
This is really good.
Put the link in. This stuff sounds like.
Put the link.
Okay, here, give me some pretzels.
Give me some more damn pretzels for our tailgate.
Yeah, so
because you know why we got to do this, don't you?
I think that was a hell of a lead into our next segment, sir.
Because the pro sport, not just the NFL, pro sports, Major League Baseball, the NBA, even the WWE.
That is so good.
They are making ticket prices way too expensive. So please, break it down for me.
Okay. So, according to Google, because I love Google, are you doing the DX? I mean, I can bring up the theme music if you really want to, DX.
Break it down now. Break house.
Holly, his wife, tell me, because there's something going on with him. I don't know.
It's the sauce, dude. And anybody that knows me knows I'm a dipper.
I've heard that. So, according to Google, in 2025, the average. Oh, first of all, the average.
That was last year. No, I'm talking about. So, guaranteed it's going to get worse.
We'll work on ABCs later. Okay, so just for parking alone, the average price, $35 to $60.
To put your car in a parking space.
I don't know. I did not research the average parking, but let's just say on average you get 1,000 cars. Okay, if it's $60, that's $60,000. 8 home games. Do the math. Okay, I get that. Okay, now the average NFL ticket average is $156. That's not including
how much?
156. 156, sir.
And that's for the cheap seats, or just
that was just the average. Okay. Now, if you talk about places such as, if I could read my rating,
he's got some serious chicken scratch going on over here.
And you carry the one. No, I'm sorry. So the average price was 156. But if you go through, say, Ticketmaster, and I'm not throwing the Buffalo Bills, but when we went to the game, I had to go under Buffalo Bills parking or whatever it was to get parking. That's an additional 35%. I don't know the math. I don't get paid to do the math. That's
why we're poor.
That's the secondary market prices, which is $200 to $500, which is ridiculous. Now, international games.
So far,
okay,
we're about $300 in just for one ticket.
Yep,
for one person to go to a game.
Well, yeah.
And one person goes to a game by themselves, unless they have no friends. And usually with sports, you're friends with somebody.
Right now, people with no friends on our comments like, well, we have friends, asshole.
Come at me,
Will White. Okay, but international games, $230.
Okay. Not to mention airfare and all that. Which I will point out, I read a thing Royal Rumble was in Saudi Arabia this past January. For the prices of an airfare and the tickets to their stadium or arena or whatever the frick you want to call it, because they built it in a parking lot, was actually cheaper than watching it live in the United States.
What?
Cheaper. Because I wanted to take my son to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. My wife and I jumped on the site to order the tickets. The moment they went on sale, we waited, and the cheap seats were at least $500 for one ticket.
No.
And WrestleMania is a 2-day event. That was one ticket for one day per person.
No.
They have all these packages that you have to basically take out a small loan. And like I said, that's WrestleMania, which to me is bananas because there is no way whatsoever that it should cost that much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody's always talking about how there's not enough people in the seats. Obviously, with the pro sports, it's a little easier because if you're fortunate enough to order at the right time, $150 can be paid. You're not going to be able to pay anything else. You're not going to pay rent. You're not going to have gas in your car. Luckily, I drive with somebody, so I don't have to pay for gas. And I don't even know how much that's going to be capable because she's going to be paying a large sum of money to go to the Bills games because it's what she does.
Your friend,
50,
right?
50 years she's been a fan. And if it wasn't for the fact that she got help from her son, she would not have been able to afford it. She would no longer be able to go to Bills games.
And it's sad. Now watch this. So let's just do the average $150 ticket, right?
The last one?
We got more.
Okay.
We got more. Dude, are you still not getting paid by Bears Bros? Dude, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyways.
Dude, I had to battle for our new bracelets.
Oh, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, right here.
Charge.
$8. Right there, Bear Bros. Okay. We will ship them out. Okay. So listen to this. Let's say it's a night game, or let's say it's a Monday game. You see where I'm going with this? Hey.
Or Thursday night.
Hey. Playoff. It goes
Playoffs.
You talking about playoffs?
I have to start that one. You already.
It goes up 137%. So let's just say so the closest stadium to us is Bills.
You got to hope your team sucks.
so Buffalo is only 3.5 hours away from us, right? Let's say we go and watch a game. It's $60 to park, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say we pay $500 to park, tickets, and a little bit of food, right?
Uh-huh. Food prices? Oh, don't even get me started on that one.
Well, you just wear a big jacket. We'll put stuff. I've done before. Anyways, listen. A week later, now it's a playoff game. Now that parking, I'm just going to say, now it's $110. Those tickets are now $250 a piece.
Could you imagine how much you have to love your team enough that the year the Kansas City played Miami and it was like negative, like the coldest game in history, having to pay that much money to completely freeze your ass off to where you're frozen to the seat? Mm-hmm. Or here's another one that also makes me laugh. The Buffalo Bills request people to come and shovel their seats. Yeah. They don't throw them a discount on tickets. They don't even offer them tickets. It's like, yeah, come shovel, and then if you happen to go to the game, thank you.
Yep. Now, I'm really going to piss you off with this one. Let's say, right? Super Bowl hits, right? Let's say you're in Detroit, and the Super Bowl's at Detroit. That ticket that you just paid $500 now just jumped up to $6,500. And you're not even watching your team, but you have season tickets. Now, there is some good. I applied for a credit card in your name. We can go to a game. I'm sorry about the interest, but you'll get that in the mail. Anyway.
Okay.
The average hot dog average is $6 to $9.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little outrageous because the bun is about this big and whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Average beer is 10 to 15. Now,
no wonder they don't have as you need tailgating to get drunk.
I'm just saying, like, we all know if you're going to go to the game, you're going to be prepared. You're gonna spend, and if I'm not mistaken, it's only cash only from. So you got to have cash on you. I don't know.
No, it's
or is it just card?
No, it's cashless. Because I remember the game that I went in 2019 with my son. Everything was cashless, and all I had on me was cash because I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and so I had to have my wife transfer some money so that I could use my card to buy my son something to eat.
It's ridiculous.
To me, I kind of don't like that because, I mean,
yeah. So the average soda price in 2025 was $6 to $7. Now, the lowest place to get a hot dog in 2025 was Atlanta at $2. Okay, but they also had $5 to $10 meals. So I don't know.
Is that because they had to pay Kirk Cousins?
Now the highest, SoFi.
Oh, I thought it would have been AT&T Stadium. Well, that makes sense because that thing's like.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. I refer to you as the stat guy.
That's right.
If every team, the Yankees, they have WB Mason.
Yes, they have sponsors.
So why is everything so Nike? Let's just use the biggest clothing brand line, Nike. Nike is fucking everywhere. They are paying you. They are paying you to put a banner in your stadium, in your arena.
And they paid to have their logo right there on every team in the NFL.
Yep.
So
you tell me, Pepsi. I can go on.
Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Budweiser, Frito-Lay, all the car companies,
Smith and Wesson,
and not Ja Morant. Oh my gosh! But that creates a great question because the NFL receives so much damn money from Amazon, Netflix, to air their games. How much money do these teams get? Are they not getting it and the NFL's pocketing it all? When do we as fans get a break? Because, guaranteed with the new stadium that the Bears get, whenever they figure out and wherever it's going to be, it's going to increase prices because guaranteed Buffalo's new stadium is going to cost a hell of a lot more than the Highmark from last year. Because of how much it costs to build it.
So, let's quickly do the math here. You said Nike paid for right here, right? The little swoosh. There's 52 players on a team, right? That's not including That's not including staff, and every staff member is wearing a shirt with the little Nike. Let's just do basic math. 50, right? What's 50 times 32 teams? Carry the one.
Yeah, I bet it, man.
Oh my God. Okay, let's just basic math. 100, right? Let's just do 100. Let's say Nike is paying them $1 million a year. That's $100 million from one endorsee
divided by 32 teams.
You mean to tell me you cannot? I just whatever. And every person that owns a professional sports team is making money elsewhere because let's look at Mark Cuban. He was such an investor, and he did this.
He said he regrets.
He does. I saw that,
and that's why some people think he's gonna get into the new Las Vegas franchise, which is kind of funny. He sells it to casino owners and then buys the team in Las Vegas where casinos are.
Oh, sure, but with all this money that comes in, plus the TV deals, I'm just saying it's $1 billion industry. You mean to tell me you can't sell a fucking hot dog for $3?
You can't sell a ticket for less than 3 digits so you can have people in the stadium to pay the outreach. I have no problem paying $20 for a burger while I'm at a game. I mean, I know that's crazy, but for the experience. But the fact of the matter is I got to be there to be able to buy the damn food.
Yep.
Buy the damn beer. Listen to this.
Yep.
TV deal. Netflix is paying approximately $150 million, $75 million per game for the rights to stream 2 Christmas games in 2024 and option for 2025-26. Amazon paid roughly $100 million for a single Black Friday game. That's one game. $100 million and $150 million for the exclusive playoff rights. One Black Friday game and the playoffs. That's $250. Well, could you help a brother out? I would like to go to a game. Like, I will say this now. Bills Bears, which I'm hoping it opens up their new stadium, but it probably won't. I want to be there unless it's freezing time of the year. I want to be there. I'm worried I'm not going to be able to. Like, I'm going to have to sell off my third toe on my I got to choose a foot to be able to afford the tickets.
Dude, this is a family show, man.
Okay, you drank a beer and you talking about Smith and Wesson, John Morant's now. You're criticizing me for having to sell my toe because I want to keep my kidney to be able to go see the game. Because
we'll figure it out. But okay, so here's something. You know how I always said, like, I don't understand why there's some fucking fights at stadiums, right? People talk shit. I get that. Think about it. You just paid $15 for a beer, and somebody just knocked that beer out of your hand accidentally. Now you know why. So listen, yes, there's people in this world that have money. I made it very clear that I am not hurting. I'm not bragging. People have way more than me.
I gotta save up to be poor, so I have no idea what he's talking about.
Talk to HR. I got
All
you.
right.
I'm just saying, like, in
I'm
order
still
to
waiting for my bonus.
I used it. Anyways,
Is that how you got the pretzels?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying there is no reason why a family of 4 would have to spend over $1,000
just to get in.
To go to a game.
No, just to get in.
Just saying. And you know, you cannot take a little kid to any. I mean, we've raised kids. There's no way you're going to say, no, you can't have a foam finger. Or, no, you can't have a popcorn or soda. Why would you go to
such a horrible feeling?
It's kind of like taking your kid to a candy store and saying, no, you can't have anything.
Or take him to the movies and say, I'm sorry, you can't have any popcorn or candy because I can't afford it. I can only afford to get you into the movie. And I had to, work double shifts to be able to do so. I give props to anybody that has season tickets, including the friend of mine. It's like pro sports are now catered only to the rich. Because I could sit on my couch and watch it in the comfort of my own home with all the commercials. I can eat whatever the hell I want and pay like a third of the price of the ticket.
Yep. And I would also like just to add, because this show is not just about Chicago Bears or NFL.
Well, it's primarily about the Bears because
it's
what we love. It's just
one of our favorite.
Isn't much to talk about today.
There's always stuff to talk about, bro. But one of our favorite players is Kobe Bryant. God rest his soul, right? He would play hurt. Play hurt because he said when he was a little kid, his dad and them sat up in the nosebleeds, and if he went to go see his favorite players and they didn't play, then he missed out.
Let's be honest about Wemby, the fact that he's got that Mamba mentality.
Like if people go to Buffalo and let's just say, I mean, I'm not saying because Josh Allen is a warrior, but if Josh Allen sits out, do people? I mean, no, Mitch Trubisky's not there no more. But do you think people really want to pay $600 to see Mitch Trubisky? No. When people go to the Lakers game, do you think they want to see just Luka? No, they want to see Luka and LeBron, right?
What was the game that it was? It was the Ravens versus. I believe it was the Ravens versus the Packers, and it was Snoop Huntley versus Malik Willis.
Yeah, what I'm saying. But people love their team. But I'm telling you, people want to go to see the stars, right? I mean, I'm telling you, even though LeBron James is getting up there, he's still balling out. I've got to give him props. But I'm just saying, you
go
don't
to a
think.
Yankee game to see Aaron Judge. You don't
And
go
if he
see
doesn't play, you're like,
whoever
wait a
the
minute.
hell is
Yep.
filling, unless he's injured. If a player is injured, I get that, because especially with you bring up the NBA, load management is fucking horrible. Excuse my language.
I agree.
You are getting paid an obscene amount of money to play 82 games. Get your ass on the court unless you're hurt.
And like I said, I know this is primarily NFL in Chicago, but do I understand that the NBA wants to go down to 60-some games?
Yeah, Steve Kerr said you should cut off 10 games because it's gonna reduce injuries. That'd be like saying the NFL should only pay the second half of the season after Thanksgiving because we don't want our players to get hurt.
May I say something? Only because you said Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, great player. I know he's got 9 rings. Let me just say something. If it wasn't for Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman playing all 82 games or whatever, you would not have 3 fucking rings. And if it wasn't for David Robinson and
Tony Parker. Tim Duncan.
You would not have those other 2 rings. And if Steph Curry didn't play all those games, and you would not have the other 3. So listen, you can't sit there and say
Phil Jackson wouldn't have all of his rings if it wasn't for Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Shaq, and Kobe. And they played. I am the hugest Shaq fan in the world. I got a logo tattooed on my leg of the fact that he was a very large athlete. Could have used the time off. Didn't do it. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the only time I can see load management if you're up and you know you're going to win and you want to bring your
there's a difference between load management and sitting your players. Because if you're up by 30 going into the fourth quarter, you shouldn't be on the field. Yep. Even in the NFL, who got hurt? They asked why was he still out there because they were getting their ass kicked in the playoffs. But you get it.
I know exactly what you're saying.
You should be on the field, but you should at least play in the game until you get to that point.
Can I make just one more point?
Please.
Okay, listen, I don't know.
And then we're near the buzzer, so we gotta.
All I heard was we were near the buzzer. All I know is the bare minimum that a professional athlete makes is over $100,000. I'm not going to tell you what I make. I mean, I make very good money for my lifestyle. I'm just saying, if you're making over $150,000, your agent's going to take 10%. Okay, let's just say you come home with $110,000.
There are other taxes I learned from a thing Cam Newton showed, like Sam Darnold lost money winning the Super Bowl because of California taxes.
Oh, okay. Well, I get that.
Which is ridiculous.
Let's just say you and I are professional athletes, and we make, after taxes and agent and this or that, we make $110,000. Plus, hold on, we're going to get paid the endorsement for our games being replayed and everything, and our namesake. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm just saying, everyone in professional sports is overpaid, and they're all a bunch of crybabies when they say, I've watched Josh Allen get the shit beat out of him.
He had blood coming from his nose.
And he was not he ran out of the medical tent. I'm just saying. I've seen Kobe Bryant break his finger and put it back into play.
He tore his Achilles. Still shot the free throws and then refused to be to carry off the field.
Yes.
He didn't show pain because they talked about that, how he didn't want to show the pain, even though excruciating. He shot those free throws because the free throws were needed for them to win the game.
And we should say this for the next year. I just want to say 1 minute. Major League Baseball pitchers, 4 in the 3rd inning. Oh, got to go rest my shoulder. Nolan Ryan would sit there and say it. I watched Abbott from the Yankees. The guy he didn't hit.
He had one hand.
Right, and he pitched 9 fucking innings. You overpaid babies.
You get paid 100 times more than we do. I go to work. I work I would love to be able to have the ability to tell my employer, you know what, I don't have it today.
I mean,
Here's the deal. You pay me my paycheck. I will show up to work on Monday.
Yep.
Tuesday is questionable if I feel like it.
Yeah.
I'll come back on Wednesday.
Yeah,
but you still got to pay me.
And you're right. All athletes make 100 times more than us. I mean, okay. I went to work with 10 stitches in my head. I broke my finger. I didn't miss any work. I'm just saying, load management, fuck off.
All right.
Oh, don't give me now I have the whole Will White blood boiling.
All right. So hopefully by next week we'll have some more Bears related content to talk about. Maybe they'll finally make a decision on the stadium because there's talks of it's between Arlington Heights and Hammond now. The governor of Indiana has pretty much been telling everybody we got the Bears.
But the government is stepping in. They're saying
yes, because the government's trying to fight it because they know it's going to make them look bad, especially since the governor of Illinois, the word is he's going to run for president. And how are you going to get votes when you let the most storied franchise, not only in the NFL, but the city of Chicago is a Bears city.
Yep.
And you're going to let them leave and go to Indiana just because you don't want to get out of your own way. So maybe we'll have some talk about that. We're closer to the draft because next week I want to talk about the NFL offseason takes way too long. I got ideas of how to fix that since everybody wants to say, oh, you want to criticize, but you don't want to offer solutions. I got solutions.
Guess what we're doing next week? Solutions.
Solutions on ways to reduce the NFL offseason. But as always, I am Big Will.
I am JDubbs.
And we are the Bears Bro Podcast.
Listen, there's going to be a link for Big Fork Brands. Okay, copy the link. Use the promo code. You guys will love this stuff. It's awesome. Wow. Wow. You know what? And if we still have a few shirts.
No, y'all don't think we were BS. There was some of that in our bowl.
We still have a few shirts. Somebody's wife's car has not ate this shirt. And we just got these awesome wristbands in right here. It's Bears Bro Podcast. This right here.
Hit the like, subscribe, tell your friends.
That ribbon is for anything, mental health, cancer, everything. And on the back, of course, if you're a Bear fan, you bear down for life.
Always
so $8. We'll get it to you. So
the ribbon was important because mental health is important, cancer awareness, and there's so many that you can't just pick one color unless
it represents everything.
Yeah. So again, until next week, bear down.
When can I pull out my gun?
Stop it! You are going to get us canceled. You are not John Morant. That's why you can't get traded.
Put in my Plexico berth.
Yeah, but
I got that in, didn't I? Yes.
Yes, we're still on the air.
Yes. Let's see. Who else carries a gun?
No, shut up.